Everybody, it's Tuesday, December 8th, 2009. Thanks for stopping by. Got a lot of news today, none of it good, unfortunately. It seems like the environmental conference has started yesterday, and many people are talking about this as the last chance for the human race to survive. And already, before the conference even began, they were giving up on it. They were saying, well, we're going to go to the conference, but it's clear that there's going to be no agreements that come out of this that are binding on anybody. No binding agreements. They already know this. So they're hoping they can get some tentative non-binding agreements from the major countries. They're hoping. And of course, we all know, unless we're hopelessly naive, that non-binding agreements mean nothing. They won't be acted upon. So, the most we can hope for to save the human race is, well, nothing. We can't hope. It seems like we're pretty much doomed, okay? We're all in this car together. We're all strapped in. We're going off the cliff, and there's nobody at the wheel. That's the way I see it, because for one reason or another, the leadership of the world is incapable of doing anything. Now, I don't know exactly why. I don't think it's that they are intrinsically evil. That's not the reason. I think that really, when it gets right down to it, either they're powerless to change what's going on, or they're just not smart enough. They're not intelligent enough to understand the gravity of our situation, or they're not intelligent enough to understand that they need to wake up and act and stop fooling around. Or they just don't have the power to do it. Maybe that's the way it is. Maybe they just don't have the power. Maybe they know what's happening, but they can't actually come up with the power to change our society in the way that it needs to change in order to save us, to prevent a massive catastrophe. Now, you may think I'm overreacting a bit here, but when you understand history, and I'm talking about long-term history, you understand that we are on the verge of a major catastrophe. Now, if you look back over the history of the Earth, there have been 5 mass extinctions. We are currently in the biggest mass extinction so far. Well, I say biggest, maybe the second biggest. The second biggest mass extinction. Because, more species have died after the advent of the technological man than at any other time, but it's not a complete extinction. Back in the Permian age, there was a mass extinction, and it was much more total than the extinction we are in now. The Permian mass extinction wiped out 95% of all life on the planet. It virtually sterilized the oceans, the land, and the skies. In the Permian, after the Permian mass extinction, there are virtually no fossils ever been found for a long period of time. Now, this was before the dinosaurs, okay? There were a lot of animals back then, and some of them were pretty big, not as big as the dinosaurs, but they were, cow-sized, hippopotamus-sized type animals walking around. All of them are gone, okay? So the Permian mass extinction, what you have to understand about it, it was caused by global warming. And what happened first was there was a massive volcanic eruption, much bigger than anything we've seen in the modern age. And this volcanic eruption caused global warming of around 5 degrees Celsius. And that caused a lot of animals to die. Okay. But it wasn't a total extinction. It was just a partial extinction. And at that point, the methane under the ocean started to dissolve and come to the surface. And when this happened, it killed almost everything in the oceans. Okay. And not only that, but when the methane came to the surface, it caused another 5 degrees of warming in the atmosphere. And this caused the death of virtually all animal and plant life. That's important to understand. It wasn't just the animals who died. 95% of all the plants died. So, what you had was a world that was virtually devoid of life. There was no animals, no plants to speak of, only a few microorganisms. That's it. Okay. That is what we're looking at. Okay. If we fail to act and we have global warming and it reaches 4 or 5 degrees, we're looking at, a lot of mass extinctions, but not total extinctions. It'll get really bad, but it won't get unlivable. But when that happens, when the methane starts to bubble to the surface in the oceans, when you see the oceans on fire, this is the end. There will be nothing that will survive it that you could see. Okay. And that's very important to understand. When the methane, when we allow the global warming and the methane starts to come up, we're goners. And that's it. There's no way to stop that then. It's out of our hands at that point. So, that's why people are so concerned that we start doing something about it. And they're concerned that even though there's a huge conference, nothing is being done. And everybody knows, even before the conference has begun, that nothing is going to be done. That's one thing, okay. Cindy Sheehan talked about on her webpage a few days ago witnessing an interview with a U.S. general where he praised the drone attacks. Now the drones, they basically, when you use drones to kill people who you suspect of some crime, you've ceased being at war. That's no longer a war. That's no longer a battle. That is more of a execution. You're just pulling a lever and executing somebody because you think they might be a bad guy. That's what the drone attacks are. They're just people sitting in Arizona killing people in Afghanistan because they might be opposed to our military occupation, which is in itself unbelievably unjust and unjustifiable. Okay, so we're killing the freedom fighters from armchairs in Arizona. But that's not the bad part. The bad part is the general bragged about how soon we won't even need those people in Arizona anymore. We're going to just program these drones to just go out on their own and kill people. Now, what is that? What is it when you have a machine that's totally automated that kills people that may or may not be bad guys, or who may or may not be fighting you because you're the bad guy? What is that? That is extermination. That's not even execution. That's bug killing. Okay, only it's directed at human beings. That is what we're moving towards. Okay, that is the world that is coming into shape around us. And meanwhile, in East Jerusalem, the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians has gone totally into high gear. They're moving people out on the street. I'm getting videos all the time of these people moving into other people's homes, looking out the door and laughing. Ha 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 ha. I got your home because you're the wrong color. That is the world that we're creating. What does it look like to you? I know what it looks like to me. Thanks for watching.